Good evening, fellow Ambazonians and friends of Ambazonians. Welcome to this special edition of the interview. We are living in the most interesting times in the history of the Ambazonian people and with a world that is changing at a dizzying speed. In a liberation struggle such as ours in modern times, only those who have a vision create a plan, and only those who have a plan have the knowledge of what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. The Ambazonia Governing Council crafted a concrete plan for the liberation of Ambazonia. The Ambazonia Governing Council invoked the right of self-defense for the Ambazonian people and launched the armed resistance as part of its liberation plan. The Ambazonia Governing Council is the only movement in the liberation struggle with a political leadership and a defense force known both by the international community and by the occupier. The AGOVC is the most trusted, credible, and stable leadership trusted by the international community to guide the Ambazonian people, bring the Ambazonian people to foster unity and collaboration within movements to create and get the territory ready for post-independence political stability. Today, the Vice President of Ambazonia Governing Council will be introducing to the Ambazonian people and the international community Ambazonia's partners in Washington, D.C. to represent the interest of Ambazonia and the interest of the Ambazonia Governing Council. Here is the Vice President of the Ambazonia Governing Council, Dr. Julius Nye.
Where you might find yourself. Special greetings to General Bush in Oku. Special greetings to General Man Pikin in Dian. I'm your humble servant, Dr. Julius Nye, and today I will be bringing to you one of the finest people in Washington, D.C. that would be advancing the cause of the Ambazonian quest for freedom. The time is right to bring on board partners that can bid for Ambazonia. The time is right because we have humbled the enemy, we have raised our voices, and the international community has noticed us. In order to leverage from the achievements we've made thus far, in order to make sure that we get to our destination faster, we have partnered with a strategic firm in order to advance strategic diplomacy. And that firm is no other than Moran Global Services. I would like to introduce you to Moran Global Services, MGS, Chairman or President, in the name of Congressman Mr. Jim Moran. Honorable Congressman, you're welcome to the platform.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It is a delight to be with you and your colleagues and representatives of the Ambazonian people. I am delighted, honored to be able to play some supportive role in Ambazonia's efforts to free itself from the repression that you are currently experiencing, the leadership of Cameroon that is not representing your interests, and to help bring you to a place where the people you represent can have their own governance, have the ability to speak their own language, to be taught in their own language and culture, and hopefully deliver that result with a minimum of bloodshed and conflict. We we all share values, I believe, and those values include peace, respect for human rights, and individual dignity and fair representation. Now, someone who I'm very proud and happy to work with is the gentleman that has introduced me to Ambazonia and its issues. And that's Mr. Elias Garasulis. Elias is well known in Washington. He's well connected, particularly with people in the State Department and on Capitol Hill. And Elias is my partner. And at this point, I would like to turn it over and introduce you to Mr. Garasulis. But I appreciate your recognition and the opportunity to address you and those folks that are on this call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congressman Moran, thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President. It's an honor to address you and through you, the people of Ambazonia today. This is a great honor for us. We've had the opportunity to represent other pro-democracy and independence movements in the continent of Africa, in particular, as you're aware of, the Biafra Public Government in Exile, which is advocating for the freedom for the people Biafra, which is an independence movement, and also the Eritrean Government in Exile, which is not an independence movement, given that Eritrea is an independent country, but a pro-democracy movement to liberate the country from a 30-year dictatorship. In the case of Ambazonia, you have both a desire for independence, to have your own country where you can govern yourselves, where you can, as Mr. Moran so rightly said, speak your own language, practice your own culture, but also liberation from one of the worst dictatorships in Africa, in the Biya authoritarian regime, which is ruled La République du Cameroun for decades and has brutally oppressed both the people of Ambazonia and of broader Cameroon in one of the worst anti-Anglophone dictatorships that we've ever seen. And I think you will have, in both myself and Congressman Moran, not just your lobbyists in Washington, but people who are fellow comrades, people who care about your cause, people who understand your issues, and people who will represent you in terms of a broader goal. I think Ambazonia and other movements in Africa, you are the new hopes of Africa in the 21st century. We had in the 1960s independence movements in Africa, which the U.S. supported because the U.S. understood, especially with President John F. Kennedy, that it was the right thing for the United States to help liberate Africa from European colonialism, and also in the strategic interests of the United States. And I think in the 21st century, you, Mr. Vice President, the other leaders represent the new independence leaders of Africa in the 21st century to this time liberate Africa, not necessarily from colonialism, but neocolonialism. And we will be happy to work with you to achieve what I think is both a moral imperative, but also a strategic imperative for the United States. This is both the right thing to do for the U.S. to support Ambazonia, but also in our own strategic interests as well. So this is a win-win situation. We look forward to establishing a close relationship between the United States and Ambazonia. And once we have full understanding and support of the U.S. government, I believe we will have a free and independent Amazonia because, as I've said publicly before, where the U.S. leads, others follow. Right? So I do believe once the U.S. throws its weight behind Amazonia, and I think we could significantly expedite that process by our direct contacts with the Congress, with the administration, with the think tank community here in Washington, that we can make very significant progress in a short period of time and move towards what we want to achieve, which is a free and independent Ambazonia. So the people of Ambazonia should know that we're with them, that we're their voice in Washington, and we're their fellow comrades. So I want to thank you and say what a delight and an honor it is to be involved in your cause.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Moran and Mr. Elias. I just have one more question for each of you before we end this brief introduction of your honorable service to the Ambazonian people. That we will always remain indebted to your call to partner with us to make sure that Ambazonians' aspirations are brought to fruition. So, Mr. Elias, first to you, please, before Honorable Moran. What motivated MGS to partner with Ambazonia and the Ambazonian Governing Council?
Yes, what I would say it was a few factors. It is in the interests of the United States to support the Ambazonian cause, and we felt that we could play a helpful role in facilitating the relationship. We and myself in particular have been very involved in Africa, people in the African space, including working with people in the executive branch, the congressional branch. There is a great desire here in Washington to have more streamlined contacts with Ambazonia in order to expedite progress on the Ambazonian issue. And in terms of the Ambazonian Governing Council in particular, I would say the reason why I thought and we thought to partner with the AGOVC is you have an extraordinarily professional organization with extremely high quality people. Your organization is the premier Ambazonian organization. And again, as I've said, I'm very knowledgeable about the Ambazonian space. And both yourself and other people in the Ambazonian Governing Council are the utmost professionals. You're extraordinarily well structured as an organization, and that's important for our lobbying and what we're trying to do in Washington, because our State Department, our Congress, our White House, they want to know that they have a reliable, trustworthy, and competent counterpart on the other end. The U.S. government wants to work with people who are solid, people who we can trust. And that's the same that's true for lobbying firm too. You know, we want to represent people that we can be proud of and that we know have the capabilities and capacities to help run a movement as nuanced and complicated as the Ambazonian independence movement is. So I think it's a credit to both the interest in Washington, but also confidence in your organization, and specifically that I think has led us to this path to partner with not just the Ambazonian people, but the Ambazonian people through the Ambazonian Governing Council. And I'll turn it over to Congressman Moran. Thank you.
Well,
yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, I can provide a little broader context as well. I happen to be Irish, and the Irish were taken advantage of by the British Kingdom. We finally were able to achieve more autonomy, independence, of course, from England, and I'm very proud of the direction in which the Irish have gone. But throughout, the Irish have been able to relate to colonial oppression, even though it's been in the northern part of the planet. No continent has suffered more from colonialism than the African continent. And as a result, there is no continent where there is a greater disparity between the human and natural resources of a continent and the actual fulfillment benefiting the people who live there. The African continent has been exploited, has been abused, suppressed, and yet its population has grown. Most of its natural resources are still in place. And so the 21st century should be the century where the African people acquire their not only independence, but fulfill a greater deal of their potential, because their potential is enormous. Their intellect, their work ethic, and their value as individuals is what needs to now be developed. And that needs to be kept within the continent, among the people, among the local communities, not sent north to Europe or wherever. Cameroon can be an example of this kind of independence and fulfillment of opportunity. Right now, we have a division that only benefits the people who have directly benefited from the colonizers. This has to be rectified. I think it can be. Of course, I should say that in any conflict, the force that seizes the high ground invariably prevails. And that isn't just militarily or geographically, it's also morally. And so I hope we can be a facilitator for the people of Ambazonia to get together, to unite, because in unity there is strength, but also to set an example for the rest of the Cameroonian people that those living in Ambazonia are good people, want to do right, don't want to hurt people, abuse them, let alone be cruel to them, but they have a right to exist. They have a right to their own individual and communal identity. So that is our objective, and we want to work with you in achieving that objective, because I think if you can set an example for other people throughout the continent, it will have implications that go far beyond Ambazonia, that will spread throughout the continent of Africa, and it's about time. And so we would like to play even some small role in achieving that objective.
Thank you so much, Honorable Moran and Mr. Elias. And finally, I think it would be nice for you people to tell the Ambazonian people who is MGS, Moran Global Services, what do you do, and who do you represent? Thanks a lot.
Okay.
I'll turn it over to Congressman Moran.
ahead.
And by the way, Congressman Moran, I just want to mention, if I recall correctly, Mr. Vice President, you are based in Ireland, so there's that common connection as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
I did not know you were in Ireland. I'm glad I mentioned Ireland. That's
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Elias. So I was mayor of a city called Alexandria, Virginia. It's across the river from Washington, D.C. I spent 24 years then in the United States Congress. I was active on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Foreign Operations Appropriations, and especially on the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee. And as a result, I've taken a deep interest in foreign affairs and the role that the U.S. plays, should play, and can play in the lives of other people. Not exploitive, but empowering. And so I worked for a couple of large law firms and then set up my own firm so I could hire people like Elias and others. We have about a dozen people associated with us. I have represented the state of Qatar for it's now about 8 years since they were subject to a blockade, and that has been successfully overcome thanks to a strong embassy and good people and doing the right thing. And I'm glad I could play some role in that. I also represent other clients, many of them in the defense sector, General Electric, General Dynamics, General Atomics. I don't represent General Motors, but a lot of other generals. About half a dozen other technology firms, a company called Salesforce, and 20 arts groups in Washington, D.C. So it's a broad-based clientele, but we particularly like to be involved in things that are meaningful so that we can act purposefully. And that's why we're here today, because we hope, we intend to play a supportive role in achieving your common objectives.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elias and Honorable Moran. We, the Ambazonian people, and especially the Ambazonian Governing Council, look forward to working with you. We thank you so much for finding time within your busy schedule to come and present yourself and your partnership with the Ambazonian people to realize their aspirations. We believe that your partnership with us is a noble call. It's a call for justice. It's a call for human rights. It's a call for you to stand with the people whose rights, whose identity, whose culture, whose being has been trampled upon for more than 60 years. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
This is who we are as Ambazonians. This is who we are. This is who we are as the Ambazonia Governing Council. This is who we are. You do diplomacy with class. You build an organization that is well structured, with competent people, with people with character, with people that are trustworthy, with people who have complex intelligence in order to represent the Ambazonian people in the way that attract others, in the way that bring others with the necessary competence, with the necessary skills, with the necessary expertise to be able to attract partnerships. So today, all of you have heard from our partners in Washington, D.C. You've heard from the Honorable Member of Congress, Mr. Jim Moran, who was a member of the United States Congress for 24 years. You don't buy those type of experiences in the market. You don't pick them out of the drop of a hat. All right. So these are people that have the persuasion, they have the presence, the command authority on the global stage and within the United States. So this partnership, it's really crucial. It's very essential for the actualization of Ambazonia. As the Vice President stated, this is a new phase of our liberation struggle. And it's a new beautiful moment for the Ambazonian people. For all of you that are watching, we want to thank the congressman and we want to thank the Vice President of MGS, Mr. Elias Garasulis. We want to thank them for their visit with the Ambazonian people today and for their introduction. We also want to thank them for their services, their love and compassion, and their support for the Ambazonian people. For our people on the ground, our mothers, our parents, our children, our brothers, our sisters, to the Ambazonian people, this is for you. This work is for you. This leadership, this partnership, it's for you. It's to secure the future we all seek. For our prisoners of war, for our refugees, for the internally displaced, for those that, for families that have lost loved ones. This work is for you. This work is for you. It's to ensure your sacrifices can yield the fruits for which you shed the precious blood for. For our defense forces, we can speak today with courage and confidence because of what you do, because of your tenacity, because of your sacrifices, because of your courage, because of your resilience. Without the armed struggle, without the self-defense based on the context of our liberation struggle, there will be no Ambazonian liberation. It's a collective effort. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the leader of our liberation, who created the Ambazonia Governing Council, who invoked our right for self-defense, who recruited the 7,000 men and women trained in the land of Boki, trained in Dadi, and commissioned them for the task of liberating homeland. You represent, Dr. Cho is an embodiment of the purest of what Ambazonia is, the purest that represents the aspirations, the hopes, the dreams of the Ambazonian people. We are the core of the liberation struggle. The Vice President of Ambazonia Governing Council has done an extraordinary job in the last 3 months to not only stabilize the resistance, but take the resistance and the liberation struggle to new heights. Today, after 8 years, we now have partners that can speak for us, that can do the bidding for us. There's still a lot of work to be done. This is just the beginning of a new initiative as a component of the strategy laid out by the leader and by the organization. Fellow Ambazonians, I want to salute all una. As we be talking before, not only a people where they get a vision, they fit create a plan for the vision. Not only a people where they get a plan, they get the knowledge of which they need for doing, which step they need for take, which action they need for take, and when they fit take that action. Make I repeat them again. Not only a people where they get a vision, they fit create a plan for the vision. If you not get a vision, you not fit create a plan. And not only people where they fit create a plan, they get the knowledge and the understanding of which step and which action they fit take them and when they fit take that action. The Ambazonia Governing Council, it take these new steps, not because not them create the vision of the liberation, not them create the liberation roadmap, not them create the liberation plan. We understand place where we dey, we understand place where which we don't achieve them, and we know what we need for do them for complete the process of the actualization for the independence and freedom of Ambazonia. So, if you understand why the egg of sea 3 months ago before they pick up the leader, they start to think how the world will change in 3 months' time and decided for add this new strategy into the overall roadmap. So not only people them where they get a vision, they fit create a plan. And only people where they fit create they clear a plan, if you know what to do. We know what to do because we know place all day and what it be needed. This work today for this partnership with MGS, Mr. Honorable Jim Moran, as he don't introduce himself, he will be a mayor for the city of Alexandria, we did for near Washington, D.C. from 1985 to 1990. It will be 5 years, that will be mayor for the city of Alexandria, for the state of Virginia, in the Washington, D.C. area. ABB, and then from 1991, he win election for become a member of U.S. Congress for the 8th district for Virginia Congressional District from 1991 to 2015. From 24 years as a congressman, 24 years. You know, if you buy those experiences for market, with all those experiences, with all that knowledge, with all that what we don't do, as he explained them, it will be for the Congress, for the Foreign Affairs Committee for Congress, it will be for the Foreign Affairs Appropriation Committee. Okay, as he explained them, for the last 8 years, now he organization after he leave Congress, he create the MGS as an organization for help people like we would fight for liberation, we would fight for freedom, help country them where they not get a better relationship with the United States government, forget a better relationship. As he talk, the state of Qatar for the Persian Gulf, now he don't be their representative for the last 8 years. As he explained now for our people them, the company that they call and say General Electric, now one of the biggest company for this world, now they make a lot of the equipment them for the US defense industry, including the engine them where they use them for aeroplane them and for most of their military jets. Now General Electric is the maker. It talks in they represent General Electric. General Electric Now, one of the biggest company for this world, it get a work, it get about 300,000 employees where they work for General Electric across the globe. The company where now one of the biggest American, it fall within one of the top 10 American companies then. So Naidi represent them for their defense contract, for the contract and where the United States government, it give company them for help the United States government for make military equipments. Naidi, it talks Naidi represent them. All right? Salesforce, I know the company. Now, one of the company for this world, where over the last 20 years, it don't grow from zero to a big international company. And understand the company very well, and I understand the work where they do. So you fit from which one I don't hear today. That's how they tell our people them. Propaganda not feel liberate the people them. Propaganda not feel liberate the people them. The day where they become announce, say Mr. Trump, the administration, the new administration, he don't invite the Ambazonian people them. Cameroon, he can't tell us in a propaganda. The Ambazonians, the people they know want gain independence, they can't tell us in a propaganda. Today, when I don't meet up, when I partners them face to face. Now, when I partners. Now, they are new partners from Ambazonia'S. It take na intelligence, it take na planning, it take na hard work for win this kind of war and for get into partnership with these kind of people. Then. These kind of organizations, before they want enter into any partnership agreement on your behalf, on our behalf, they do a background check. Remember, now people in this way they deal with the CIA and the FBI. They go do a background check for the organization for make sure say now the credible people them. They know want people they wait tomorrow they can't disgrace them. They know want tomorrow people they wait tomorrow the whole thing will collapse like a house of cards. So before they want even accept for do partnership, for lobby on your behalf, for be a legal representative, for be the people that will go speak for you, make the connections for you. They know say you be solid, you be trustworthy, you be committed, and you be pure in what you did one. Even though they need to waste their time because it could damage all the things the way they don't build them for their entire life. That's why they need to take risk for people the way they know get the character and the necessary qualities. We be the egg of sea. All right? We represent the best of the best for the Ambazonian people. Then. They fit talk, they go up, they come down. At the end of the day, the Ambazonia Governing Council, from the World Bank report, from the IMF report, from the Oxford report, from the Stanford report, they don't tell all we, and tell the world, the AGOVC now the most credible, most structured organization where it will help for liberate the Ambazonian people. Then. And as General Ivan Ba tell una, the AGDF, the AGOVC, it will lead the charge for the liberation of Ambazonia. We not go do them as just we go do them as one people. We invite other nationalist movements, make they can join we for this new momentum. Make we do them as one people. As the congressman talk, make we find ways for build bridges and create the front of unity. The Ambazonia Governing Council, we open our hands and we had them for welcome other movement, for join we, for work together as one for the Ambazonian on behalf of our people. If we do them on our own, it could just take a longer time. But collectively, it could take a shorter time. And we prefer make it take a shorter time than for we for take a longer time. We want post-independent political stability. we all we go enjoy the benefits of independence, forgive our people them back their country. I think this will we fight for. We fight on behalf of our people them. Forgive our people them back their country. Give them back their homeland. And all that our people they ask for. Our goal and for do the work for the liberation. We want to thank the Vice President for a vision. We want to thank the Secretary General of Ambazonia Governing Council for the hard work. We want to thank the Secretary of State for the Ambazonia Governing Council for the really hard work. We want to thank all members of the War Council, all members of the Education Board, all members for the Human Rights and Humanitarian Department. We want to thank our people them for the Council of Missions. We want to thank our people them for the Legal Department. We want to thank our people them for the strategic team. We want to thank all Ambazonians for their trust and for their effort. 2 days ago, we got a fundraiser. We want to thank all the men and women, all the Ambazonian people them, who they come together for support the Ambazonia Governing Council. I call on all our people them for come together, rally behind the Ambazonia Governing Council. When they see the work we do, we need to hide them. We need to do things in the background. At the appropriate time, anything we achieve, we can't announce it for them. Any meeting we attend, we must put them for outside. All right? When the appropriate time comes. So this year, now in a year, at the year for our people them. This year, at the year we were prisoners, they will come home. Our refugees, they will come home. We were the IDPs, they will come home. This year, at the year we will go actualize Ambazonia. For we forget there, for we for do them, it require all our people them for come together. We call on all Ambazonians, rally behind the movement we no road. The people that they do the work with, they show una. Not been a talk for more. We show una the work we do. It require a greater level of sacrifice, and we call on all everybody on the ground and for the diaspora. We see the work. Pay your liberation tax. Pay your liberation tax. You see the work. Pay your liberation tax. One thank ACN. One thank the technicians them. One thank all the people that they do this great work for we for be able to communicate. On behalf of the Egg of Sea, we send our love out for all una. We send our gratitude out for all una. We thank una so much for una trust, una commitment, and una dedication. We thank una plenty. Una get a very beautiful evening. May God bless Ambazonia.
Glory, we the Ambazonian, special loyalty, presence to our Savior who granted us the freedom, allegiance to the hero, for God alone we gather, glory to glory, we rise and never to fall, here in a nation, flowing with the holy, glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation.
Welcome to ACN.